How much of your life is dominated by your ego? I guarantee you it's more than you think. And for most, if not all people, it's over 50% or half of their life. Think about the times when you were too fearful to ask a girl out. That's ego. Telling you that you can't do it, that you shouldn't do it. You look bad. That she'll say no. And it'll be the end of you. You'll be absolutely obliterated. It's too hard. Just don't do it. When you feel the need to prove yourself to the world, that's ego. The desire for external recognition. Other times when you compare yourself to other people, whether it be putting them down or yourself. And there are so many of these in our lives. So many. The point is, ego naturally dominates our life. Our ego keeps us in comfort. It's the mother unwilling to let her child experience the world. It wants us to not be hurt. And that's understandable. What kind of parent wants their child to deliberately be hurt? No one. But the world isn't fair. And it doesn't care, particularly. The world will do what it does. It will hurt. It will cause pain. And a mother isn't always going to be there. So, the child will learn sooner or later, whether that be at 10 or 40. But the thing is, your ego will always be there because, well, your ego is part of you. It will be with you until you die. And that's even worse. Because if the ego dominates, the world can't snap you back into place. You will always be afflicted with it. And it's the robber of joy and happiness. I urge you to think. Think about your life. When am I doing something because of my ego? For example, for a while now, I don't even say a while now, I've always been comparing myself to other people. It's just, looking back, I can really tell, I can really notice it these past couple of months. I would compare myself to other people, telling myself that I was better than them because I was doing certain things that meant that I was better or I was rated higher. At other times, telling myself that I was more important than a friend, thereby not really listening to them, not giving them the time they need, not giving them the attention that they need. Sometimes proclaiming that my time was worth more than other people's. It isn't. Time to everyone is valuable. We all know it about ourselves, right? My time is valuable. What makes other people's time not valuable? Another is thinking I was special. Or more precisely, that people couldn't understand me. That I was alone. On the one hand, that's true because there's only one of me. Well, the multiverse theory might not agree. But I'm not special in terms of being better, I think. In addition, people can't understand me. They can by listening. They can by caring. Some are less willing, some are more willing. Also depends on the day. But I think that people can understand one another by listening. Maybe wanting to achieve certain things, or work even harder for external validation. I want to achieve a certain body so that other people will look at me. Other people will deem me more attractive, thereby making me feel good about myself. That's ego. Playing video games because I want to win. I want the screen to tell me objectively that I am better than this other person or these other people. That I am more skilled, and therefore I am worth more than they are. That's also ego. Given these 6 examples, I'm sure there are things in your life that you can probably see are dominated by ego. Talking too much. What about a life without ego? The life without external validation? And I think everyone desires that. Everyone wants that. Everyone wants to be validated. And I think no one really wants to want external validation. Nobody really, I guess, if people could live and be validated by themselves without external validation, people would, I think. Because you could just validate yourself. And that's a life without ego. A life where you could just be and feel content with yourself. What about facing rejection? That fear is ego, telling us that we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't approach her. It's relieving when you do, though. You regret it when you don't approach, and you're relieved when you do, even if she says no. It's like an open loop. If you don't approach her, it's an open loop. You will constantly think about it. Constantly. Why didn't I do it? Why didn't I do it? I should have done it. Why did I do it? You'll keep on spending mental energy debating and thinking about approaching and talking to her because you didn't do it. And like I said, rejection or not, you got an answer. And that's relieving. That closes the loop. It's like the times when in a TV show where a family member has been killed, or a character's family member has been killed, or someone important to them, and then that family member just wants to know what happened. They just want an answer. Or maybe he's not even killed. They've gone missing. They just want an answer. Is he or she dead or alive? I just want an answer. Things like that. Ego is when you also compare yourself to people below. And you feel good about that. Sure, you can feel good about that, but would you say those thoughts to their face? Probably not. What about when you compare yourself to people higher than you? You feel awful. You feel like you should do more. But a life without ego means you don't feel good or bad. You just are. And really, that's what you want. There's a word in Greek which is eudaimonia, I believe. And it roughly translates to pleasure, a sort of higher pleasure. I think, given what I've learned, that higher pleasure is peace, peacefulness, without comparison. Try this once. Walk into nature, by yourself, without anyone. You can't see anyone. And just walk. You can't compare yourself to anyone because no one else is there. You just are. You're just in nature. And it's peaceful, tranquil. It's nice. Oh, right. I believe it also, eudaimonia also can translate to contentment. And a life without ego leads to ultimate contentment. It frees us from the chains that we put on ourselves. Live life without ego and, therefore, without strife. The thing is, your ego needs maintenance, like your lawn. Constantly cut it down. Let it consume as little of your life as possible.